Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie, and today I have 8 new Dollar Tree Shore Living DIYs for you. I tried to use a lot of the new Shore Living items they came out with this year, and I had a great results. Lots of like wall decor and fun stuff if you like to decorate coastal or beach like I do, or if you like to decorate that way for summer. You're going to love these ideas, so let's get crafting.
Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Okay, for this DIY, we're going to make a wind chime to go outside. I got a couple of these wall charms from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree, the little anchor and the sailboat, and then some of these really cute little buoy wind chimes from the Dollar Tree. They have like 2 different kinds that I got, and we're going to use, I have a total of 4, but we're going to use 3 of those. And we're going to put all these items together and we're going to make a really easy, cute wind chime that you can use outdoors. So I'm just going to reinforce the little wall charm a little bit with just a few staples, but I like the twine on there and I like the wood beads. The only thing I really need to remove is the tassel because it's kind of in the way. So I just cut that off. And then taking some twine, I'm just going to tie off on the bottom knot of that. So it's already got a hanger. That's going to be the very top of my wind chime. And then we're going to start building from there. So that seems pretty sturdy. Now I'm just going to cut some off, probably way longer than I need, but I want to have enough twine. And then we can start attaching these little buoy wind chimes. They're so cute. This one kind of looks like wood. They already have the little bell in there, so they're perfect. But on their own, they're very small for a wind chime. But if we put them all together like this, it's going to make a really nice one. So I just loop through the existing little hanger on there and tie it off to start my wind chime. I thought that might be hanging down a little too low. So I am going to simply just move that up a little bit and tie that off again. I want these to be hanging kind of like off to the side, kind of like buoys would be hanging together. And so that one I'm going to just kind of do off to that side. I'm going to alternate colors now with the white and blue one that also says beach on it. Just looping through its hanger and tying it off. I want them to not like bang up against each other because that does not make a very nice sound. So I want there to be enough room so they won't necessarily do that, but not too much room that's going to make it really long. So I'm just going to tie it off about where I want it. I thought about tying them directly under each other, but I kind of like the looks of them going off to the sides like this. So we're going to switch back to that wood one that we did first and tie off another wind chime. Trying to get it about equal distance underneath that bell that we did the first one. This was so easy to put together and it looks so cute on my porch. Now, I was thinking about making it longer, but I thought it would be too long. So that is going to be the final bell, and then we're going to cut the twine off and we're going to use the other little wall charm to be like, I don't know what that part's called on the wind chime that makes it ring. So I use the hanger on the little anchor and I tie it off just by knotting that around the little bell that's inside that wind chime. And that way when the wind blows that, it's going to make that bell ring, and then those are going to make the other bells ring. And I installed it. This is out in my Florida room, my back porch. And this is how it turned out. I think it's really cute. My Florida room is under construction. I took down all my curtains to wash them, washing everything out there, doing my spring cleaning, but now I have a new wind chime. Okay, this DIY is going to be really fun. We're going to use some of these new starfish from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 2 of the white ones and 1 of the blue ones. They're really a nice size, and they've already got like the little hanger on them. So we're actually going to take advantage of that. I wanted to do like a driftwood wall hanging. You could use this as a wind chime because it's going to be very decorative, or you could hang it on a wall. I think I'm going to hang mine on the wall. And I'm also going to use some of these little hanging decor wood beads and sand dollars from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so I went to the beach and I picked out 3 pieces of driftwood that were all kind of the same. They're all about the same length, and they're kind of the same kind of wood, so we're gonna go with those. But you know, you could use whatever you have. If you don't have any driftwood, you could always use a stick, just something rugged. And then about halfway in the middle, I'm just going to use my largest drill bit and drill all the way through my driftwood so that I can start this hanging. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on all 3. We're gonna use 3 pieces of driftwood on this project. I'm not measuring or anything, just kind of guessing about halfway in the middle. And then we can start putting this together. I have 3 starfish and I have 3 driftwood, so I'm just gonna start by threading that through the hole that we drilled in the driftwood and just leave it like that for now. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing here for the other 2. If your hole's big enough, it's pretty easy to get that like rope cording through there. Just squeeze it and push it. I've always wanted to make one of these, and it just turned out really cute. And these starfish being already tied up just makes it so much easier. So this one's gonna be the top. So I just do a simple little overhand knot on the top. So that gives me a little loop that I can hang it with, and it also holds the starfish in place. And then we can start building from there. I thought these wood beads would come in handy. I kind of want to use the white and like turquoise blue ones. I thought that would go nicely with the white and the blue starfish that we have and look really beachy. I don't really want to use any of the navy stuff. That's not really going to go with my decor too much. Now, they're already on twine, so I'm just going to go ahead and untie this so I can kind of use the existing twine. And I'm just trying to determine how many wood beads I want to do in between. I end up going with, I think, 3. So, like, I'm just alternating blue, white, blue. And I did go back and forth about how many wood beads I could use. I decided 3, then 4, then 2, and then I go back to 3, of course. So I kind of want to alternate colors. So blue, white, blue, and then a white little sand dollar also from that wood bead hanging. Isn't it cute? It's very delicate looking. I'm just going to string it through like that so it will hang flat against my wall. And then we can attach that to the back of the white starfish. So I just flip that over, and I'm going to use that existing hanger that's on there and my staple gun. I'm just going to staple that on the back of the starfish. The starfish are like made out of wood, so really easy to staple to. And that looks pretty secure. I kind of like the way that looks. And then I think we can repeat that with our next starfish. So we're going to have the blue starfish next. And so it's just a matter of tying that off. It has the little loop, and then I have the twine, so it's just a matter of tying them together. This was really easy to do. I just tied this one first like I did before to secure the starfish, so it's not going to go anywhere, and then tie the twine on there. And I want it to be relatively tight. I don't want it to be too long. And you can make this as big or small as you need for sure. But I thought 3 starfish would make it a nice length, and it probably is like 3 to 4 feet long. So I staple a piece of twine onto the back of the blue one, and then I'm just going to string some of the beads that I had left over from before. I'm just going to repeat that same pattern with the turquoise, white, turquoise. And then using another one of those little white sand dollars, I'm going to string that on there as well. Trying to figure out how I did it. There's a little hole on top. I string through that, and then I string through one of the slots on the sand dollar. I'm just going to put a little hot glue on the end of my twine to make this part a little bit easier. That way it'll lay flat against my wall, and it's just going to look better. So now we're ready for the third row. I'm just going to tie that off like I did on the other two, just by making a knot there. And then I can tie the twine to that. And this is going to be the very last piece on this. This was so easy to put together, and I just love how it turned out. If you don't like the colors of the starfish, or you can't find the ones that you want, they'd be really easy to paint and do this any color. I chose to hang this on my wall, which makes it hang flat like this. But this would be really cute if you hung it from your porch or something like that too, because then everything's going to kind of go a different way. Driftwood will go one way, starfish will go another way, you know, just depending on how the wind is blowing. But I think it turned out really cute. What do you think? This is what it looks like hanging. I have like a skinny, weird wall in my entryway, and I hung it up there, and I think it looks really cute. I think it looks nice and coastal. And just a fun idea of what to do with those starfish if you were lucky enough to grab some. Okay, another DIY with the starfish. We're going to use one blue and one white. And you guys know I love these, the little plastic shell dishes from Dollar Tree. They look cheap and plastic, right? But you can really make these look like real shells, and it looks real cool. Now, I DIY'd one last year, and it kind of gave me an inspiration for this one. I wanted to make a large wall hanging with shells and starfish. So I want to paint the outside, or the bottom of the shell. And I want as good coverage as I can get, because, you know, it is plastic, and I don't want all that iridescence shining through. So I'm using ivory chalk paint. If you don't have any chalk paint, you could get away with acrylic, but you're probably going to have to go over it with multiple coats. I'm just using a brush so I can get down in between all the grooves on there. And it already looks better, right? Yeah, we're going to DIY this and make it really fun. My idea was I wanted some really large seashells with starfish on it. And it turned out really cool art piece. So I do the same thing here with shell number 2, trying to get as much coverage as I can. And I love these. I was able to find a bunch the other day, and I picked up a bunch because I have some other ideas for these as well. Last year I made one and displayed it on a stand, and it was very pretty. I still actually have to I still have that in my house. And then I'm going to take Antique Wax by Waverly and a chunky brush, and we are going to distress, bringing out all of that like great texture in the shell. So I'm kind of going with the actual pattern on there, and it actually like brings out a lot of cool shapes and textures on there. I am going to blend it a little bit with a baby wipe just to kind of make it blend in, look a little bit more rugged with different colors. And then I'm going to do the same thing here on the other two. Now, you do have to be careful when you're distressing this if you rub it off with a baby wipe like I do, because it's going to be pretty easy to take your paint off. So you might have to touch up here and there if you have any areas that show through. But we're trying to make this look kind of old and distressed. And if you get a little bit too much brown, you can go back in there with your original color and brighten it up there a little bit. We're going to do the same thing over here. Don't they look cool? They look so much better than they did before. And so much more like seashells. So I did the same thing with shell number 3. Blending it, giving it a quick dry, and going back with a little bit of the ivory if there were any places that needed to be touched up. And I think we got pretty good coverage here on all of them. And I like that they're all a little bit different. Now, these are the starfish. I don't really necessarily need the hangers for this project, and they're really on there secure. I cut off that part, and then I was cutting off, you know, the twine on the side, which was kind of hard to get your scissors in there, but they were like stapled on like several times. I was kind of surprised about how sturdy these little starfish are. But we're gonna get it. So I pulled off all the twine, and then I'm just using my pliers to try to pull out the staples on the back, just so they don't get in my way. And there was like 2 staples on each one. So that makes me feel better about my last project, that it's definitely gonna stay together, because this was really put together well. Now, I don't necessarily want these colors for this project. I kind of wanted like a lighter, beachier blue, so we are going to paint these. I'm gonna mix a couple colors together, the Caribbean blue and white, to give me a very soft, beachy blue. And you can do whatever color is gonna match your decor or makes you smile. And these were really easy to paint, just using a foam brush and going over the top and the sides. And you know, they're different colors to start with, but it was pretty easy to make them look pretty standard in color. That blue was not too dark. And I thought it would be really cute to like layer these blue starfish on top of those seashells we made and kind of make like a coastal abstract wall hanging. So once I get them dry, I want them to look a little coastal farmhouse. So I'm gonna very lightly distress them with a little bit of ivory, just for fun. Just very lightly. Okay, I think it's time to put this together. Now, I need to find a way to attach my shells together. I don't want anything that's gonna be visible. I want it to look like they're like, you know, like a floating project. And you can kind of fit the shells together with their like little scallops. I thought like 2 on one side and 1 on the other side would look cool, like an odd number like that. And so my idea is to try to attach them together with like some burlap ribbon. That way you won't be able to see it, but I think it'll hold up. So I'm just gonna use some Dollar Tree burlap ribbon, and I'm just gonna cut down like a thin piece, because again, I don't want you to be able to see it from the front. And this actually worked really well. I'm just gonna hot glue it on the insides, shell to shell, trying to keep that as tight as I can. And it is burlap, so if you do happen to see it like at the crack between the shells, it's not really gonna matter. And then this one was a little trickier. I kind of could fit like the scallop in place on the left, but I kind of want it to slightly overlap the one on top. So I kind of put it in there like that. That's the only way I could really get it to fit. So we're gonna cut down some more of that burlap, and we're gonna glue these 2 shells together. As you can tell, most of the projects today are really easy, but I can't believe how cute they all turned out. So that seems pretty secure. Now I need to do the same thing for the top and the bottom shell on the right. I was going to try gluing them together, but I did not think that was really gonna work. And this actually, so far so good. The shells are so light because they're made out of plastic. I think that's what makes this project work. So there we go. We have them all attached together with a little help from the burlap ribbon. And just making sure that dries. Now I want to do a hanger, and again, this is a very lightweight project So I think just twine, like hot glue to the back, is going to be fine. I want them to kind of hang like I had them though. So I'm going to have to just kind of put the twine on the back the way that I think it would work. I just tie like a knot on the end just to give me something more to hot glue down. And I want it to be kind of a hidden hanger. So I'm going to glue it there inside the shell where you really can't see it, because the string is going to be like right there at the seam. And then I'm just going to tie a knot in the other side and attach it over here where the shells will kind of hang even though there's like 3 of them in a pattern. And again, this is so lightweight. I think that's totally going to hold up. You could always try gluing to the burlap too if you needed to. I do a little bit more hot glue on top just to make sure. And then we can start putting this project together. I'm going to flip it over. There's our giant seashells. And then I thought 2 starfish on the front would look really cute. So just kind of moving them around, trying to find out where I want them and then where I would need to put glue to make them stick to the shells. And I'm just going to hot glue 2 rays on. That's also going to help keep the shells attached together there. And maybe a little glue over here too. And then the other one I'm just going to kind of do, I think, on this shell. Kind of looks cool wherever. Just trying to figure out exactly where I like it the best. And glue this one down as well. And that's all there is to this coastal shore living DIY. It is so cute hanging on my wall. I have it at my entryway as soon as you walk in, and I really love it. It goes great with all of my coastal decor. So this is how it looks hanging on my wall. Isn't it pretty? Nobody would know that those were little plastic dishes from the Dollar Tree for sure. It's so fun. That might be one of my favorite projects today for sure. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment to tell you I have a private Facebook group. I have it linked below. I would love to see what you're crafting. And I also have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, and my handle is Crafty Beach on YouTube. I'd love to see you over on any of those social media. Okay, the next DIY is 2 Dollar Tree pieces from the Shore Living line, and then a item from the Target Dollar Spot, which is the little surfboard. So these are the new rope boards they have at the Shore Living line at the Dollar Tree. This one says beach, super cute. This is the little surfboards they have right now at Target Dollar Spot for $5. They have some really cute beach stuff, guys. I got oars, I got this, I got a little boat tier tray, and I got like a little lifeguard house. They got some cute stuff, so don't sleep on the Target Dollar Spot. Now I'm gonna make this for my son's bathroom. The only color that I don't really have in there is that darker blue on the bottom. So I thought that's okay. I'll just paint it a color that's gonna go with the decor in the bathroom. He has like a coastal, my son has a coastal bathroom where it's like, you know, a lot of like water sports and stuff like that. So I think a surfboard is going to look so cute in there. I just mix like Caribbean blue color on there, and it's not quite the same color as the blue on the top, but that's okay. It just lightened it up a little bit and got rid of that like royal blue that I don't really have that color in there. But I like the other colors, and I like the fact that they're like different colors. Kind of a striped beachy pattern, and I thought we could make a really easy little beach sign for his bathroom using that rope beach word, and then one of the little yard stakes also from the Shore Living line. So this is the yard stake we're going to use. This is the seashell one, and I'm just going to take my pliers. This was pretty easy. Just bend it back and break it off, and you have a cute little seashell. It's all distressed and everything. And then I thought we could put the word beach over here. Now, the beach word does have little hangers on the back so that I guess you can hang it on the wall. I didn't really want to use those. I thought it would make it a little bit harder and they might get in the way. So I'm just going to unscrew those and take those off. I thought it'd be easier just to attach it to the little surfboard with hot glue. So I'm just going to kind of go around wherever I can find a good spot to put some glue. Doesn't have to be everywhere, but I want it pretty secure. So I'm just going to glue that over on this side. Super cute, and that rope really matches the rope hanger on the surfboard really well. And there's just enough room over here for the little metal seashell. If you can't find this yard stake, they also had like octopuses, other things as well. Or you could use a big shell, would be really cute too. And that is it. How easy is that? I love these items. They're so much fun to craft with. So just gonna make sure that is glued down. I did try to burn off the fuzzies from my beachwear just to kind of clean it up a little bit. But be careful, mine burnt a little bit. So I'm just gonna trim that off. And I think it's ready to go. It's so cute. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with the oars yet. Maybe I'll do something for 4th of July. And this is how it looks hanging in my son's bathroom. I hung it like up above his towel holder. And I think this would be great. I know so many of you guys have coastal bathrooms. This is just a great DIY for your bathroom and so easy. This would be really cute by a pool too. Okay, the next DIY, check out the sailboats they have this year at the Shore Living line. They're so high end. There's no glitter, they have burlap, but I thought we could take it up a notch and make like a nice coastal beach sign using some of these wall shelves. I picked up 3 of these at Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna kind of put them together to make like a wood slat, like rectangular sign. I really like these because they're nice and thick, and I think we can totally make this work. Now, I don't need the hangers or anything like that. I do want to save one piece of the rope though to make a hanger for my sign. But otherwise, we're just going to cut all of these hangers off. Now, if you can't find these shelves, you can probably get about the same result with craft wood, or if you don't care about like the slatted pattern, you could do any kind of Dollar Tree rectangular sign. So I want to paint it. I don't want to leave it that wood color. I kind of want it to give a coastal ivory background, but very distressed. So before I put it together, I'm just going to go ahead and just start distressing in one direction. And I'm purposely like not getting great coverage because I want a little bit of that wood to shine through. And this is going to make a really fun backdrop, I think, for that sailboat. They have, I think I got 3 different kinds of those sailboats. I can't believe how nice they are this year. They've really improved them over the past 2 years. I've always had to DIY the other ones quite a bit to make them look nice, but these are really cool. So I got it all painted. I do go over with a little bit more just to make it a little bit brighter ivory and a little less wood. And I think that is going to work. Next step is to put them together. Now I told you I wanted like a slatted pattern. So I do want space in between each board. And so I'm gonna accomplish that with popsicle sticks. Now these boards are nice and thick, so I should be able to staple them without like the staple going all the way through. So that's gonna be helpful. So I just use Dollar Tree popsicle sticks. Now they're a little long, so I'm gonna cut them down to about the right size I want. And then I'm just gonna staple these onto the back. and it's gonna keep my boards together, and it's gonna give it kind of a cool effect. And I'm just leaving them raw wood. I think that's gonna be fine. Trying to get my spacing right again. And then I'm just going to, I love working with popsicle sticks because they're so easy to cut just with scissors. I'm just gonna cut 3 more here. And I think 4 total is going to be plenty to secure this. So there is our little slatted wood sign. It's gonna be a great backdrop for that sailboat. Now this is one of the existing ropes that came with the shelf. I'm gonna hot glue the end to make it a little easier to feed through. And then I'm just going to feed it through here, knotting it in front and then coming back through the other side, tying it off to a length that I think is gonna be a good hanger. I thought it would look better there than to go all the way to the sides with the hanger. And you have all those holes to choose from. And here's our little sailboat. The one I'm gonna use says life is a journey, enjoy it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it apart just by cutting the hanger off. And I'm also gonna pull these little ropes and staples off the back of the sign. I'm gonna attach it separately to it so it doesn't really need the dangly part here. It's just a matter of pulling those staples out, which is pretty easy. But I do like both signs, so I am definitely going to use both. Isn't that pretty? I love the colors, and I love that there's burlap on it, and the writing is on the burlap. It's so cute. So I'm going to kind of put it together something like that. And look, it's like the perfect size. So first I'm going to hot glue the little enjoy it sign down. I'm so thankful that these do not have any glitter on them for sure. That's actually going to help secure my boards together too by gluing them all together. And then we just have to glue down the little sailboat. It's just a way of taking a small Dollar Tree sign like this and making it way more substantial. It's going to look so much more high-end hanging on your wall. So I'm going to glue that one down, trying to center it the best I can. Now the only thing is there is a hole in the top where there was a hanger, and so I do want to cover that up, but otherwise I really like it like this. So I was trying to think, I usually do twine, like a bow, but we're doing coastal today, right? So I'm just gonna use a little tiny seashell from the Dollar Tree, doesn't matter what one, and I'm just gonna hot glue that over the hole just for a fun little touch. And I think it is ready to go. The existing sailboat doesn't need anything. I think it's just perfect. And I'm gonna hang this in my entryway above my console table where I've got all of the DIYs we've been doing so far this year with the Shore Living line, like my school of fish on a stand and stuff like that. I think it's all gonna look so cute together, and this is how it looks hanging in my entryway. Aren't those sailboats awesome? I just love them. I picked up a couple of each of them, I think, just because I want to craft with them. Okay, next DIY, 2 Shore Living canvases. I picked up the seashells in 2 different kinds. They're kind of like a watercolor, I guess. And I thought we could frame them with some of these Dollar Tree signs. Now, I tried a different technique today, and I wouldn't say this technique is easier. It did turn out good in the end, but it was more work than I probably thought it was going to be. So I start off with my canvases. I just pop off the hangers, and then I just start cutting off the canvas along the back on the outside of the staples so they don't really get in the way. And the only tricky part is trying to get around those corners where it's kind of folded down. And then I thought we could use these frames to try to frame it. What I'm gonna do differently is normally I try to cut the canvas down to size and glue it down inside there. This time I thought, you know, the frames are very loose on those Dollar Tree signs, that I would just take the frames off and then frame down on top of the canvas. So that is what we're going to do, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was as easy as I had anticipated for sure. And so we're gonna do both of these at the same time. So we have both of our canvases cut free. Now we can start dismantling this frame. Just gonna remove the hanger. And then we can start taking this apart. You can see that they're attached with 2 staples on the top, sides, and bottom. So I'm just trying to lift those off. And I had good success on some sides, but not so much on other sides like this one right here, where it started to kind of break it apart a little bit and the staples kind of stayed in the frame. And then you're kind of left with a piece like that that has staples sticking up all over, which is kind of crazy. So I'm just gonna try to pop them out with my hammer and my pliers. And then we're gonna do the same thing here with the other one. I had the same problem on this one where it kind of split the wood on the sides. We're gonna cover it with canvas, so you're not gonna know that, but I don't know if I would recommend doing it like this. I don't know if I would do it like this again. But I wanted to try it because these signs are just about the perfect size for these canvases from the Dollar Tree, and I always like to frame a canvas. I think it makes them look so much better. So now that I have like my plain piece of wood on there, I'm just going to hot glue it around the edges. I don't think that will be visible because that will be hidden under the frame and just going to be easier than probably trying to Mod Podge it. I just use a little scraper to kind of make sure that my canvas is smoothed out. And I do that step before I cut it out. And I'm just trying to get rid of any of the wrinkles, which again, you're probably not going to be able to see because these are just about the right size for these. I'm going to do the same thing here on the other shell canvas. Hot glue it along the edges, center it on there, and just smooth it out flat. I think these are really pretty. There are a lot of white going on, so I thought we would bring a little blue in when we do the frame, just to have them go more with my coastal vibe. But I thought these would be really pretty hanging together as a set because they coordinate so well. Now that I have them glued down, now I can cut it. I tried with scissors and it was a little difficult, so I'm just gonna put like a cutting mat down and just use my razor blade, and that was way easier to get like a perfectly clean cut because you don't want any of that peeking out around the edges of the frame. And we're going to do the same thing here with the other one. And I don't know where my actual cutting mat is. I was using one of those cutting boards from Dollar Tree and it cut right up, but better that than my silicone mat, right? Okay, so now it's time to paint the frames. I thought I would just use like some Caribbean blue color and a makeup sponge. The inside of the frame is that cool like wood vibe, but the front of them is this like ugly like raw wood. But I'm just gonna do the front like that in the blue, and I want to leave some of the wood shining through. That way I don't have to go back and distress it, and it's still gonna give it that like weathered coastal look. So I'm gonna do that on all of them, just painting that beautiful blue color just on the front and purposely not getting great coverage. And I kind of left my frames like in position so I'll know which piece was which. The top piece is easy because it has the holes in there for the hanger. Now when I do go to put it back together, I did have trouble with the hanger. While you have it apart like this, it'd probably be a great time to poke holes in the canvas so that you can string your hanger through, which I did not do, but I'll show you how I got around that. So we're gonna go ahead and paint the second frame blue as well with a light distress and leaving the edges the same as they were. And this really added a lot of color to the project and made them look a lot better, I think. And it's one advantage of taking it apart is that they're a little bit easier to paint, right? And now we can start putting this back together, kind of one piece at a time. I thought we could just hot glue the pieces on top of the canvas, framing it in. So I'm gonna flip it over, and actually I decided to use my staple gun. I forgot. Even easier. Because they had them stapled on before too, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Just match up my mitered corner there, which was one reason why I use these to frame it. I usually try to avoid the miter function on my miter saw. And just stapling these back on. When I do staple them back on, I try to go edge, middle, edge, because they're not stapled great to begin with, but I think that'll be a little bit more secure. If I could staple correctly, that would be great. So here is the top piece. We can finish putting this one together. And doesn't that look cool? I think it looks cool. I like it. So we're going to flip these over and do the same thing by stapling these onto the back of this one. You know, I do like the final project. I think they look really good. I don't know. I think it would have been easier to paint the frame and then cut the canvas down and then just Mod Podge it inside rather than going all the trouble to take it apart, just because I didn't like the fact that it did try to like break the back of it when I pulled off the sides. Now I got to this point and I was like, okay, I can just string my little hangers back on by using some twine. And I did try it. I tried poking holes in with like a screwdriver here, but I couldn't really get like the holes big enough to actually be able to feed my twine through there, no matter how hard I try. And so I'm actually going to do a little faux hanger, and I'll show you what I do. But this was me trying. I tried like hot gluing the ends and trying to string that through there, and I could get it through on one side and tie it off on the front, and I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. But then I totally couldn't get it through on the other side. But I'll show you anyway, because in a perfect world this would have worked. Because I like to string them from the back like that, because the pieces always hang way flatter against your wall. And this is when I encountered trouble and I gave up. So plan B. I'm going to make it look like I tied them off on the front, but I'm actually going to attach the hanger to the back. So to cover up those holes in the frame, I just tied a little knot with twine and cut off the ends, and I'm just going to glue that on the holes, and it's going to give a faux appearance of a hanger being tied on. So this was my plan B. I'm going to do that on both of my frames. And then, you know, I have that nice frame to work with, so I can just secure the twine to the back in the same place, and you'll never know. So I just cut off a piece of twine, and I'm just going to staple that to that frame in the back nice and thick. right where the hole is. And I'm going to go ahead and cut another piece now for the other side so I'll know how big to make it. And just simply staple them on. I love using my stapler for crafting projects, but I am really bad at aiming it. Probably because I can't see because I'm trying to film. And look, problem solved. We have our two little framed seashell canvases. Very coastal farmhouse looking, and I think these are gonna look great hung together. I hung them like one on top of each other in my dining room next to my garage door, and I think they look really cute, and here they are. I really like the fact that I painted the frame that bright blue. I think it makes them so much more colorful. Okay, we're gonna make a seashell using the new seashell frame from the Dollar Tree. I thought we could use that, some of the nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and some of their new white burlap from the Shore Living line. This piece should definitely be big enough, and I thought it would be cool because we could make it look like a white burlap seashell with rope as the lines. It's gonna kind of go with like the color of a seashell, right? But when they roll these up, they fold them and roll them, and you're gonna get lots of wrinkles. And so I'm gonna start this just by pressing it with my easy press iron, because I just think that's gonna make it easier to put this together with no wrinkles. And this piece was plenty big enough to cover the entire back of the seashell. I also got the new mermaid reforms. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet, but those look really fun too. I hope they bring back the starfish one again this year though, because that's one of my favorites. So what I'm going to do, this is so easy. This is very similar to what I did on my honeycomb wreath that I did recently for a bee video, is I'm going to sandwich the metal wreath form between the rope and the burlap, and it is going to secure it with only having to glue kind of one side. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to use, this is the Dollar Tree rope I'm going to use. I'm just burning off the fuzzies now because I'm not going to be able to do it later. This is the thicker one. The reason I need it to be the thicker one is because I don't want you to be able to see the yellow metal reform below it. And the skinnier one, I think you definitely probably could. So it's time to start putting this together. I thought that I would do like section by section by using hot glue, and I use quite a bit of hot glue. What happens is when you glue the rope on the one side like this, the rest of the hot glue is going to seep down and attach to the burlap, therefore gluing it on and saving a step, and it's gonna make it look really nice in the end. So I'm just gonna do like this section. Now, when you're doing the scallop section, I got crazy and thought I could do 3 at a time, but it's really hard to get them to dry with that like scallop, you know, pattern. So I would recommend doing one little section at a time to get that proper curvature, because I struggled there. The reason I'm doing it a section at a time with a rope like this is because I didn't want to be cutting any small pieces. Like these pieces right here would be really small if I had to cut them down to size, because I do not want to overlap the rope. I want all of the rope to be the same, like, you know, flatness against my wreath. So I've learned my lesson. I'm doing one at a time so I can get that proper curvature there before it dries. And then we're just going to go back down to the bottom here, cutting that off and securing the side. And it's a win-win that you automatically get your burlap on there as well. We're going to speed this way up for you so you're not here all day. And on this, I'm still gluing like one section at a time. Not quite as hard on the bigger sections to get like that curve shape. and then go all the way back down to where our first section is, and then glue that and cut that down to size right there. And then we're going to do the same thing here on the top by doing the outside section. Now this is only going to leave like the stripes on the shell, and so those are the pieces of rope that we'll need to cut down, but that's going to be nice and easy because they're going to be long enough to have the little rope pieces, and they're straight lines, so that's going to be easy as well to cut. And we just glue this last piece down, cutting that one down to size. And I ended up using, I think, 2 packages of rope on this project, and then the 1 package of burlap. So I just cut that piece down, glue it down, and we're going to do that with all of them because I really did not want the rope like having bumps where it like overlaps, which is the reason why I'm cutting them down. And this turned out really cute. I think I'm going to use this to decorate my wall, but you could also use this on your front door. It would be really cute as a wreath for your front door, but also really cute decoration inside. So we have that first section glued down. And I'm just trying to make sure that you can't see the yellow. The yellow is not too obnoxious of a color. So if you can see it a little bit, it's not going to be real obvious. Like I recently did one of these with that bee wreath form from the Dollar Tree, and for some reason they painted that red. I don't know why. I had to paint it black. So the middle section of the seashell is complete, and now we just need to finish it off by cutting pieces and gluing down the top part. I was a little worried that like the burlap was not going to be like really glued down well to the back, and I was going to have to glue it again, but actually it was glued down perfectly. Okay, last piece, we have our little rope seashell on top of our burlap. Just trying to clean up any strings of hot glue that might be visible, and try to clean up any dust that might have settled on there as well. So now that we have it all glued down and secure, now we can cut off the extra burlap. I'm just using scissors and trying to get as close as I can without really cutting the rope that is bordering it. And this was actually pretty easy. You just want to get as close as you can so you don't see any of that burlap peeking around the edges. The only tricky part's probably the corners. And we're going to finish cutting that out, that shape of a seashell. And this is what we have so far. Now, I thought we could probably take it up a notch and decorate it some more. This is another one of those wall charms from the Shore Living line. It's this beautiful seashell. It's like white wood with like a natural wood kind of shining through. I thought that would look really nice on there. Then I thought I could also use some of the like sand dollars from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. These have been hard for me to find this year. These and the starfish. People are buying them so fast, but luckily I like bought so many last year that I still have plenty. So I thought maybe sand dollar, starfish, we could do some kind of a cool pattern on here. Trying to think how much I want to have on here. I really want to just kind of decorate the bottom of my shell. So we end up deciding on 2 starfish and 2 sand dollars plus the shell wall charm. I think we can make that work like that. I don't really want it to be that symmetrical though. So I just switch them, and that makes my eyes happier. So it's just a matter of now putting it all together now that I like it. Now actually you could leave that tassel on there if you like that look. Looks kind of cool. I decided not to though. So I'm just gonna pop this off that hanger by pulling the staples out of the back. And I really like these wall charms. These are the same things that we use to make the wind chime with the anchor and the sailboat. And this shell is so pretty. So I think I'm just gonna do it like that. So it's just now a matter of gluing it down. So I'm just gonna put glue on the ropes where it needs to be to glue that to it. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the little starfish and the sand dollars. These are the sand dollars that I bought this year, and they are way wider than the ones I bought last year. The ones I bought last year are gray, and I always have to paint them. So I'm glad that these are brighter. They kind of match the starfish now. And if you wanted, you could paint these like blues or something like that. That would be really pretty too. I was going back and forth about how many I should add down here. I didn't want to cover up too much of the shell, but I wanted enough to kind of make a statement. Starfish is a little tricky. You just got to figure out like which rays you need to glue down. Definitely not all of them. And here's our last sand dollar. It's super cute. Pretty much done with construction on this one. I just need to make a hanger. And we had that great wall charm, right? So let's take advantage and use that. I don't really need the tassel, but I do want to kind of leave the wood beads on there. I think that looks cool. And they already have the loop for the hanger. So I'm just going to attach that to the back of my little shell wreath by just doing a bead of hot glue along the back of the burlap and kind of gluing that to the wire underneath. And again, this is pretty lightweight. I think that's going to be pretty secure. And we have a little seashell. I think this is so pretty. I love the white burlap. I'm always looking for white burlap, so I was really excited to find some at Dollar Tree. The contrast is great with the brown rope. You could also do this reverse with brown burlap and the white rope from the Dollar Tree. And this is how it looks hanging in my entryway. And that is it for these shore living videos. I have the final reveal for all of our DIYs, but first I wanted to let you know that I've introduced memberships on my channel. For $4.99 a month, you can get early access to my videos like this one and other perks, including a shout out thanking you for your support. And I have 4 members, Crafty Beach Bums. I want to give a huge thank you to Coastal Couple. I am Mojo Jojo, Karen O'Haron, and Pamela Bergeron. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. It really means a lot. And now it's time for the final reveal. Don't forget to like, comment your favorite DIY below, and don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers.
For better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. 7 years now on this boat, and we all know if we